are now plugged into Hooked on Science with Bruce and Tony Khan.
And we're live.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another fantastic episode of Hooked on Sonics. I'm one of your two hosts, Bruce, and over there, being the sleeping giant as he's yawning, because apparently I'm boring him to death already, the Tone Capone. And this week, we are continuing our series of focusing on some of our favorite women artists in music and a couple of real bang up vocalists. We have Windhand with lead vocalist Dorothea Cottrell with their self titled debut um, called Windhand, and then The Pretty Reckless with their album, I think it was their breakthrough album,
Nope.
Going to Hell. It was not
Sophomore
the
album.
breakthrough.
Sophomore album.
Right, but it's the one that really got them
Yeah,
big.
I don't know if this is what broke them big, but yeah, it
Yeah.
was their sophomore album for sure.
Yeah. So, um, gonna check two of these really cool albums out. Lots of music news. I think we might even review a concert we seen, and we'll see what else pops up. But before we get into all that, Tone, the people want to know, how are you?
Good evening.
Goody.
I am good, man. I am good. Busy week this week. It just never ends for me. I the weather's starting to break up here. Things are going to get to blooming and being green. I'm sure allergies will be acting up before too long. Not just for me, but for a lot of people out there.
Hmm.
But looking forward to the warmer weather. Ready to get my garage in order. Get ready to start cooking again this year. Uh, Special cook coming up very soon. I'll make that announcement here soon with what's going on with that. But other than that, man, let's talk about a Thursday night in Newport, Kentucky.
That's right.
Before we get into everything else, I'd like to yap
Hmm.
about that real quick.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on that?
So I love it because it doesn't happen very often to where like we really get turned on and introduced to new bands through being an opener that really blow you away, that really kind of like, wow. And we were so lucky, not only, um, by the way, in case anyone's, catching up, we all went and seen Handsome Dick Manitoba, the original lead singer from The Dictators. He played a show and he had three opening bands. Um, let's see. The one was, what
The
was the first
Morbids,
one?
the
The Morbids.
Morbids,
Thank you. The second one was
the Idle Airs.
Idle Airs. And the third one was The Strains.
Yep.
And I got to tell you, beyond pleasantly surprised from all of those bands. Um, let's see, the Morbids, they were pretty straightforward, old school punk type stuff. Really cool. The Idle Airs, that was more like prog punk. Would
It
you
was
would you
different,
agree with
man.
that?
It was
Yeah.
different, and I dug it. And the singer guitar player um, was really cool. I thought it was really cool that they had actually brought a violin
Mhm.
out on stage for part of the set. I'd never seen anything like that before in the punk realm, to be honest with you. And I thought that was really, really, really cool. The Morbids opening up the show, very, I couldn't, I mean, when you're hearing a band for the first time, it's hard to catch all the lyrics and stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the things I like to say about this venue was very, very cool venue.
Mhm.
Um, Very cool venue. It's in an old church. I liked if I was a band to play that venue. I liked how the load in was set up. I think everything was set up really, really, really nice. And not only did you have this main venue area that could probably pack, I would say comfortably 500 people or a little more if you took the tables out that were there. However, they can do a lot with this space, and it's really, really kind of wonderful. And then off the other side, there's a whole nother bar area, and they had a smaller stage set up where we got to catch a little bit of India Ramey.
Yep.
India Ramey play a little bit, and boy, she was something else, man. I actually liked it so much I stuck around for a couple songs while one of the other bands was getting ready to go on or whatnot.
Hmm.
And it was a good time, man. The venue was really, really cool. Drinks were reasonably priced. Um, the bands, all bands that played that night for me, I mean, it's very rare you go spend $20 or so on a ticket and you like everything from the openers to the closers, and especially in a situation for people you've never seen before.
Yeah.
So the drive wasn't so bad from Columbus. We got down there in about an hour and 45 minutes, got back in about an hour and a half. Later, obviously later there's no traffic. Only thing I'd hate to say is that a 71 north and south, especially north coming back, there's that long wall along the fucking freeway. And if you're driving late at night and your eyes start messing with you, that can be a little bit dangerous. But other than that, we made it back safely and had a really good experience. Went to go buy a T-shirt from the Morbids because I really loved the shirt design. However, they only had one in a 3X. And usually I buy a 4X if unless the 3X is really supersized. And they didn't have one, but the singer was so cool, man. He was like, I was like, he whipped out a couple patches on me and a pen. And he was like, $7, dude. And I'm like, well, do you take card? Because that's all I had on me at the moment. He's like, I take beer. So swapped him out some merch for bought the man a few beers, and it was uh it was a fun night, man. We took Scott with or I took Scott down with us, who's been on the
Hmm.
show. You guys know Scott. Um, man, I will tell you what, we had a great ride. We had a great time there and back. I got in a little late, of course. Show ended at midnight. They let the guy play till like midnight, which was
Yeah.
pretty fucking cool. Other than that, man, all I can say is we saw a great show. And Dick Manitoba came out, and he had some guys who were like former members of Power or Circus Power. I think there was a guy that's maybe done some work with Exodus.
Mhm.
And I mean, the lineup that he had, they played these songs very well.
Yep.
They did a very, very good job. Um, you know, I think if he's happy doing it, great. Um, the dictators on them, who we've had on the show were great guys. They've got
Yep.
great things going on for their things.
Yep.
Uh, but I also think it's really cool that Dick is out there at 71 years old,
Yeah.
still kind of kicking this. And you got to remember, these guys have been around a long time. They are in their late 60s, early 70s, maybe even mid 70s, but they're
Yeah.
still out there getting these things done, man.
No,
And
absolutely.
I think it's really cool. Dick was a very gracious guy, to be honest with
Hmm.
you. He was very, very gracious to the people that came out. He said he would stay and sign and do anything for everybody until the last person was taken care of. And
Exactly.
Bruce got a picture. I did not snap a picture. Nothing against the guy or anything like that. I just, at that point in time, Scott and I had driven down with the hopes of being able to eat some food at the venue, and my stomach was getting the best of me, and I wanted to get the hell out of there. Nothing personal, Dick, but man, I was starving, dude.
Yeah.
And he and,
Uh,
and dude, I didn't tell you, but I got ripped off at the Taco Bell.
what?
I ordered three items, and they only gave me two.
Sons of bitches.
Sons of fucking motherfuckers, dude. I swear, and these people they get $15 an hour, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
God.
other than that, man, that's obviously what we've been listening to.
Yeah. Real quick, I just wanted to show. So I picked up a shirt and um, a CD from Dick Manitoba. He was kind enough to sign that for me. Born
Nice.
in the Bronx, and then I really did fall in love with the Strains. I mean, they really blew me away. Um, so I picked up their latest single and had them autograph it for me. Very, very kind of them. Nice little bumper sticker and their debut album. So,
You know, that bumper sticker might go on a particular case I know somebody has that probably hasn't even been opened and played with.
huh. So, what else is going on, Tone? I'll get to it this weekend.
I'm sure you will.
I'm sure I
I'm
will.
not holding my breath. No, man, just been checking out a lot of stuff. Checked out your album today. Checked out another album that I'm actually going to give you today. And it actually it sucks because I became determined to give you this album when I had another album last week and I couldn't think of who or what it was. And
Hmm.
now it's
Yeah.
I'm kind of up in the air on it, and I'd kind of like to give you this album, but now that I think about the other album and whatnot, that album's all right too. So
So I did run while I'm thinking about it. Wes gave us some love. He was listening, so I actually told him. I texted him. I said, "Hey man, you got to go see Dick Manitoba because he was playing Detroit the next night." I was like, "You got to check them out." And so he went and checked them out. He
was
had
he
a
not
great.
going to being a Dictators
No,
fan? He's
he didn't know that he was playing up there.
really
Yeah. So,
wow.
so Wes made it up there and had a blast. Got to meet Dick, and they were talking about the old days and stuff, which is really cool. He really liked the Strains too. And then he gave us a shout out about the last episode with Aretha Franklin. He had this really cool story that he sold her a keyboard and a guitar for her grandkids one year for Christmas. They saw this limo pull up in front of the store he was working in, and she just come in unannounced and did a little impromptu concert for everyone. And
Oh, nice.
yeah, really cool. So
That's awesome. Thanks,
I
Wes. Thanks,
yeah,
Wes, for sure. Dude, Wes got some of the coolest stories, dude.
yeah,
He
Wes is
really,
amazing.
dude, I'll tell you what, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall when him and Dick were chopping it up.
Oh yeah,
Oh, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall for that one, dude. That would have been
yeah,
so good.
yeah, for
But thank
sure.
you, thanks, Wes, man. And you know what? It's really nice that we get to interview some of these guys and they take an interest and enjoy the show. And Wes is a big fan and he's definitely one of our favorites to have on. And I would have him on as often as we could, man. He's just, as a matter of fact, I'll be honest with you, Bruce. If something happens to me tomorrow, see if Wes will take my spot.
Hell, I'm thinking about having him take over your spot now.
No, he'd be a great addition, man.
No, we got to get him back on the show. Um, and then we love Wes, and I consider him a friend. I dig him.
Hey, dude, I'll tell you what, he is definitely a friend, has been a friend to us, turned us
Hmm.
on to some great things. I
Yeah.
mean, had he not have turned us on to the Dictators, do you think we really would have ended up at the Dick Manitoba show?
No, I wouldn't
No,
have wouldn't even seen it.
wouldn't have even known who it was or what was going
Yep.
on. And
Yep.
but we saw a great show, and
Yep.
it wasn't just Dick. Dick did put on a good show with the band that he had out there, played a
Yep.
lot of really cool stuff. And then just those other three bands. Yes, I will agree with you. The Strains were great, but I liked the other two bands just as much.
Mm.
I thought I saw a wonderful punk show that evening
Yep. Yep.
from beginning to end, and
Show.
I'm glad I didn't miss anybody.
Yep. Show enough.
Yeah, cool. With
All
that
right.
being said, man, that's obviously what we've been listening to and having a good time with. I'd like to give you another bit of a heads up here, Bruce.
Mm.
Earache reached back out to me, and I just got the dispatching letter on my double mint vinyl Sleep Holy Mountain. It's on its way. Yay.
Yeah, you're
Thank you.
getting more vinyl.
Thank you, Earache. Thank you, Earache. Now
Mm.
we're at that time. I think it's time to see what the hell you drinking over there.
Well, let me tell you, I got the in a nice Wendy's cup. Some good old Diet Coke with Bullet bourbon. This is the Frontier Whiskey, Kentucky Straight Bourbon. Let's see, 82 proof. I'm sorry, 90 proof. And delicious.
Bullet is an
Bullet.
excellent bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
Is a excellent bourbon. And if it's the only Kentucky bourbon I see on the shelf, and there's Jack Daniels and all that other good stuff, 9 times out of 10, I'll probably have it. It's a good standard to keep on the shelf.
No, I agree. I definitely like it better than Jack. It's a good bourbon for sure.
Now, the question is, do I like it better than Jack Bonded? And the answer for that would be, I put them on par with each other.
Yeah, I would say they're similar profiles. Um, gun to my head, do I know if I could tell the difference between the bonded and that? Probably not. But um, all in all, really enjoy Bullet. Um, so I'm giving this a 5.
It is a 5 banger. Anything that you can mix and drink straight, smooth, and drink a good deal of it,
Yep.
it's a 5 banger.
Yep.
Cool.
What about you? What are you drinking?
I'm going to try something new tonight for the show.
Ooh.
And normally, I don't drink Bud Light. I'm not a Bud Light fan, not even a Budweiser fan. My stepdad was a big Budweiser fan back in the day, but after I started drinking and I started drinking a lot of microbrews, I turned him on to a lot more microbrews. He liked the taste of a better beer, you know what I mean? And I am tonight doing something I usually get in a Mexican restaurant with a like a Modelo or a Corona, but it's pretty much like a Bloody Mary made with a beer.
Okay.
And this is Chelada, Bud Light Chelada.
Oh,
So
Clamato.
I'm Chelada.
Yeah, with Clamato.
Yeah, made with Clamato. So let's
Clamato. Let's call the
we're gonna
whole
find
thing
out.
off. Get it, big gulp. Your face says
It's
a
interesting.
lot.
I will never drink this again.
What's it taste like?
If I had cotton mouth and I was at a party and everybody was ass passed out and couldn't drive, and this was the last thing in the fucking cooler, I think I'll dig in the ground for water. Oh, this is not good. I do not like this.
You're gonna finish it for the show, ain't you?
I don't know.
What are you
Let me give
giving
it
it?
one more, man.
One more.
Shit. I mean, one more. What does this shit look like? It looks like a fucking beer with a little red tinge.
Ew.
Ugh. Red dye number 5.
That'll do it.
That's a 2.
Ah, I'm surprised it made it that high.
It's semi-drinkable, but I'd almost wonder what it would be like if I poured it in a glass, and I probably should pour it in a glass with a little bit of lime and maybe some fucking tahine, but this is not mm, yeah, it's a 2. It could possibly be a 3 if I got some tahine and poured it in a glass, maybe a little bit of lime. But it's a 2. Sorry, man.
Oh, you hate to hear it.
God, press. It's gross. I've drank some gross shit. It is
There you
not the
go.
It is not the grossest shit I've drank though.
Yeah, there
Well,
was that one
Bruce,
time in high school.
oh, the shit I did in high school. Thank God we didn't have fucking cell phones and cameras back then.
No shit.
As sort of cell phones with cameras. So, um, I've got some news for us. Let's
Yeah,
get
go ahead.
into it. I would like to congratulate our good friend and Knoxville native down there in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Hmm.
Ben Eller, YouTube fella, man, does a lot of guitar videos and stuff and whatnot. Um, this guy is now filling in on the role for Brent Hines at Mastodon. He's done some Mastodon style videos out there. Want to say congratulations to this guy. He is worked his ass off on his YouTube channel, and he is a very, very nice guy. I ran into him just by chance. I went down to Knoxville to see Bruce, and we were spending the weekend together. And we had went down one night to the
It was Barley's.
Barley's it was,
Yep.
and saw Ben playing with a band down there. And I looked at Bruce and I said, "Man, I know that guy, and I think it's Ben Eller." So I walked up. Sure enough, it was Ben Eller. If you go over to my Facebook page, and I'll try and get it up on the Hooked on Sonics page as well. Um, I took a picture with him. Ben's a cool cat, man. Really, really down to earth guy. Very fun and a hell of a musician. So we want to thank him for just being another YouTube guy out there doing his thing and doing it big. And congratulations on such an awesome, awesome opportunity. Also want to announce that Zebra, we've gotten to review one of their albums here, announced 50th anniversary tour dates. Power Man 5000, El Nino, Head PE announce a tour coming up. And Seether, Mammoth WVH, POD, and Nonpoint are announcing a tour coming up. And it looks like COC is working on a new album. We've heard that it's been in the works, but I think it's getting some major teeth on it right now. And from what I saw, just being a Danzig fan, it looks like Danzig has no intentions of making any new music anytime soon. It's a bit of a bummer considering I don't know where Jerry Cantrell is between touring on his own and touring or doing any shows with Alice in Chains. I am aware there was a point in time in conversations that took place back in the day that Jerry Cantrell and Glenn Danzig were going to work on a blues album together, and it looks
Oh,
like
wow.
it looks like it's not going to bear fruit at this point, which is a bit of a bummer. So
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I would have loved to have heard that. Other than that, man, boom, that is the news.
There you go. I will say that finally, Kiss has started to release new stuff. They have announced a new Off the Soundboard release. I don't know exactly when it's coming out. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's off the Asylum tour. Um,
That's a weird one.
yeah, I love it though. So far they've released, pretty much every era um, of the band except for Vinnie Vincent. They haven't released anything with Vinnie that I can think of. Anyway, Asylum, one of my favorite Kiss albums, especially the 80s. Um, really cool. One thing of note, and so when they do these packages, these big releases, they'll put out, hey, here's a shirt, here's this, here's that, tchotchke. And uh, a glaring omission was Bruce Kulick and Eric Carr are not on the t-shirts
Hmm.
at all. They're not represented. It's just Gene and Paul. Um, Probably some sort of rights issue or something. But I mean, it just feels like, man, kind of shortchanges those two guys because they were absolutely critical for that 80s Kiss sound, and they were integral to that band.
Listen, man, I understand how you feel. I often think it would be nice if Glenn would go back and revisit like the first four album era and bring back those original players, even if just for one tour, you know. Don't get me wrong, I love who he tours with and who he utilizes to get the job done nowadays. But to see Glenn, John Christ, Erie Vaughn, Chuck Biscuits all share the stage together, you know, one last time would be great. I never got to experience it. I've experienced almost every rendition of Danzig since. I haven't got to see the new Misfits shows. My brother did. However, it's just, I get it. You long to see.
No, what I'm saying was they're taking off the merch.
I understand,
Yeah.
but do you think? I mean, like, I don't know that Danzig shirts from the first four eras are still featuring any members other than that, if they ever did. I mean, the
Mm.
Lucifuge shirt of the album cover had all four members of it, but I don't know that you can even find that shirt anymore. And if it does go into print, I don't know if that's how they print it anymore, as opposed to printing what they print the album with just Glenn's chest and the cross on it
Yeah.
in some way. You know, the I think the original design was the four faces in the dark. So I don't know, man. I get it,
Yeah.
but with that being said, that was the news.
That was.
We've given you some news. We've
Mhm.
given you some booze reviews, and now I think it's time for us to get loose, cut the juice. Me and Bruce have to go through a truce to get into this next set of reviews for yous. So,
Oh boy.
uh, let's do it, man.
Let's do it.
Who's up first?
Well, I think I went.
I think you're lying.
No, hold on. I think I went last time, so I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
You gave me Doom Icons Windhand. They're self-titled. There you go.
New shirt for the show. Just came into,
Uh-huh.
just arrived yesterday.
Wow, about that. Self-titled debut back in February 25th of 2012. Wow. Such a long time ago.
What were you listening
Uh,
to in 2012?
Not this.
Neither was I.
I don't even know. I don't even know what the hell I was listening to then. Not a
Yeah.
clue. Anyway, lead singer Dorothea Cottrell. Obviously, she is the focal point. Lead singer, main songwriter, for the most part.
I
Go
want to
ahead.
tell you something.
Mm.
A band you're familiar with more so than I.
Hmm.
I think their guitar player was one of the founding guitar players for this band. Can't remember his name right offhand, but he's a cat from, I believe, Alabama Thunder Pussy.
I don't know that band. Huh.
What?
I do not know that band. I
Who's
know
the other?
I know Nashville Pussy.
I don't think he was with Nashville Pussy. I want to say it was
Oh,
Alabama Thunder Pussy. I could be wrong.
okay. Well, anyway. Um, so yeah, this is I'll start off with my initial notes.
This is
She's got
gross. I'm not drinking this.
Don't do it. Let's see. Dorothea Cottrell has a fantastic voice. Uh, Earlier, I think last year, we recorded her or we reviewed her solo album, Death Country Folk. Um, really great job on that. Um, this album, along with her voice, has a great tone, really well produced, solid musicianship throughout. Um, the drummer especially really stands out in this.
I believe that's her boyfriend. If I see what I see on like Facebook correctly,
Mhm,
I believe they date. They could be married. I could be wrong. I don't know the full details of their relationship. I just
mhm.
know it seems as though they have a relationship.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so yeah, that's kind of my initial overview of this album. Um, Here we go. We're going to go into the songs. First off is Black Candles. Starts off on a rainy night. It's slow and haunting vocals. I can't really make out what she says, but and pretty much for me, that's the entire album. Like her her vocals are very haunting, very slow, very ethereal, whatever you want to call it. But I can't make it out. There's a lot of echo in her voice, so I can't make out what she's saying.
So one of the
I'm
things I want to say in regards to that is there is a
mhm,
lot of bands like this where
mhm.
the vocals are laid in the the
Yeah,
music.
yeah,
They don't stand completely out from the music like we're
mhm.
used to hearing. They're kind of more laid back in the cut. And a lot of bands do this kind of thing. But go ahead.
Yeah, and that's definitely sounds like that's part of what's going on here. It's a nice guitar solo. It's a good riff. It's not a great riff. This is a good song. It's not a great song. I gave it a B. It's slow. It's plotting. It's doom stuff.
Uh,
Next up, Libuson,
Libison, I believe it is.
Libuson, sure. Another slow riff, more punishing tone. I like the drummer a lot here. Um, to me, this song was better than the first one, but it's not a great song. It's not a great riff. It's solid. Um, but so far, two songs in, I'm not hooked. It's nothing's catching. A lot of great individual pieces. Really solid solo on this. I gave it a B plus. Let's see. Next up was Heap Wolves. Slow riff number 3. Not a great variety or change up in the riffs or her vocal stylings so far. It's a nice solo on here. It's just more of the same. Slow, haunting vocals, but it kind of blends together. Uh, I gave it another B. I'm not turning it off, um, but I'm not excited. It doesn't make me go, "Oh fuck, that's awesome." Or I'll get to more later. Okay. Next up, Summon the Moon. Now, you had asked me last week if I could pick out your favorite song on here. And we talked earlier, and I picked this as your favorite song. Was I correct?
You were correct.
Okay. This thing is over 10 minutes long. Long, slow pace. Starts with the droning bass for almost 2 minutes. The rest of the band kicks in. Pace stays the same. There's a good riff about 5 minutes in. Um, that it starts kicking up a little bit, and then it goes right back. It goes right back down to this slower tone or the slower pace, and that's 10 minutes of that. There is a really blistering solo at the end to break it up.
Jesus, that
Uh,
solo is probably one of the most amazing solos I have ever fucking heard.
yeah.
I want to say this,
Hmm.
especially when it comes to that song.
Hmm.
I understand the length. I understand how you feel like it could plot on, but the riff is so thick, the tone is so thick, and then you get into that freaking solo, and that solo has so much fucking feel to it. To
Yep.
me, to
Yeah.
me,
The solo saves this song. It really does. The riff wasn't anything special. It just wasn't special.
it's one of my
It did.
favorite riffs, dude, of all
I
time.
I don't get it. Yeah. Uh, so I gave it a B.
Uh,
I'm not turning it off. But
we're
we're
gonna have to fire you from the show.
dude, the same pace.
Dude, I get it,
Boom.
but you got to understand that that's what a lot of doom is.
I'm sorry.
Doom, stoner doom, droning.
I've heard better Doom.
And okay, but we've come to that conclusion that
Yeah.
you prefer doom that is more along the lines of the psychedelic.
Yeah.
More psychedelic doom is more your thing,
Yep.
and you like to be able to hear the vocals stand out a little.
And I like when there's a chord progression that goes somewhere.
Okay.
So next, the last song is Winter Song, 11-minute song. More slow. Um, it gets a little bit more energy about the 3-minute mark. Little pep in the song, then it slows right back down. Um, Now this next line I'm going to say is going to sound like a cut, but it's not. The last few minutes were especially brutal. What I mean by that, really nice feedback. There's some really cool growls that are kind of hidden in the background, that really makes this song interesting. Um, just kind of chaotic and just a lot of angst towards the end of this song. Um, I gave it a B.
So we got an album full of B's.
Yes.
Skippable?
No, not skippable. It's just not great.
Any of the album B's, any of those B's skippable?
I could probably on the last two songs, I could probably get cut out about 4 to 5 minutes out of each of them and be okay. But eh,
I think the
there was
album is better enjoyed as a whole.
I could see that because especially I think it was just the first three songs they go in together. That like it's all one piece kind of. The transition is made to kind of go with each other. Uh, all in all, again, the vocals. She's a fantastic vocalist. The drumming on this solid. The guitar player is really good. But when you put it all together, the songs just weren't good. I shouldn't say that. They were good. They weren't great. There,
To
there
you,
was, yeah, to me,
to you,
that's the whole point of the review.
right?
Yeah, I
Where I would rate this album for me a solid, because I can listen to this album front to back. This album would get a solid 9.75 to 10 on any given day for me.
That's interesting.
I,
Uh,
I
it,
love the whole album, dude.
yeah.
I mean,
I, I mean, honest. If I'm being honest, I gotta give this thing a 7. It's solid B's. I'm not. I'm. I would probably listen to something else by them. I would definitely listen to another solo album of hers.
right.
Um, but I, I kept thinking all this past week when I was listening to this thing, and I'm like, I'm really gonna give this thing a 7. I gave the Alana Miles album a better review. It was just catchier,
Yeah,
and
but see,
that
that's
was
that's that's
wild.
that's more your thing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Well,
That's
Alana
more your
Miles
thing.
is not my thing.
And when it comes to the long droning doom stuff, I know that I'm shooting in the dark on you. I know where I'm roughly going to land. I'm looking, I'm throwing something against the wall. Like I could have given you something else last week, but I also knew that this shirt was coming in the mail at some point, and I wanted to give you, and I've given you Dorothea's solo stuff,
Yeah, I've got that
and
album. It's
I wanted you to
fantastic.
hear her in the Doom realm as well. The
Yep.
stoner Doom realm. The dude, she really is a great lyricist. The lyrics on a lot of the Windhand stuff are just as good as what you're getting on the Dorothea Cottrell solo stuff.
Hmm.
She's absolutely amazing. This band as a whole is absolutely amazing. I believe on this album there were two guitar players, and I want to say one of them was from Alabama Thunder Pussy or Nashville Pussy or something like that. And I believe they're no longer with the band, but the other guitar player still is. So they're down, I think, a guitar player. And I don't know what they're doing right now. I do know that there are some loose shows happening. We talked about the Raleigh, North Carolina show, the viability of you and me maybe going and meeting up and seeing it, but technically it's a day drive for both of us, and it would mean needing to stay the night over in Raleigh, and that just becomes much. It's 3 states over for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
All in all, again, I highly recommend anyone listening to her solo album. Her vocals are very. I mean, there's nothing different in her vocals in Windhand as compared to her Death Country Folk. Nothing different.
I don't know.
It's great. It's great. I really
I
dig her
think I
voice.
think the major difference is that you can hear her more clearly
Yeah,
on her solo stuff.
but as far as that
Whereas in
haunting stuff, that's
right,
what I'm
yeah.
saying.
Whereas in Windhand, it's laid in the mix. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yep.
It doesn't stand out from the mix.
Yep.
So a 7, woo,
Yeah. Uh,
that's not bad. It's not horrible, but it's not bad.
Right.
I think you'd have to see. Let me see something real quick while we're here.
Yeah. And again, I am not shitting on this album. There's some good stuff on here, just not great songs to me.
Give me 1 second here, man.
Hmm. What are you looking up?
I want to say I saw a review for this somewhere, and I don't think you can look the album up. Um, uh, All Music has an 8.3 out of 10.
Hmm.
35 ratings though. Then you got another guy over at Rate Your Music, which has got it at a 3.5 out of what maybe it looks like 872 ratings. Which, if you take that and double it like we do with with what our score is out of 10, that's on par for your 7.
Yeah.
So I get it, and maybe it's not for everybody, but I love the album. It's a solid, like I said, 9.75, 10 for me. I have a real hard time picking this album apart because I truly love this album. I love her voice. I love this band. They are one of my top 5.
Yeah.
They are in my top 5 all damn day long. I could listen to their whole discography and in this split EP stuff that they did over and over again. I was actually just jamming them today before the show.
There you go.
So with that being said, a
Yeah.
7. Mm, 7 out of 10. Not bad. Not bad. Tone, I believe you're up next. Is he in the building?
Ha! Hello,
He's in the restroom?
Elvis? Is Elf? Oh, he might be in there in a minute.
Tell him to get the paperwork done and get out of here. All right. He's back.
Paperwork.
All right. So I would just like to say Bruce had given me last week the Pretty Reckless Going to Hell. This is their 2014 release. It is their sophomore album. It sounds like from what Bruce knows about these guys, they broke on this album pretty big. With that, I want to kind of preface some things on this. This
Mhm.
is a more modern hard rock, borderline metal album. Definitely has metal elements, definitely has some hard rock elements. Um, she is a phenomenal vocalist. I want to make that very clear. The band that she's playing with, these guys are on the money. Um, this is a solid, before we get into the total review, this is a solid album. Um, Suspect Earth's guitar player Todd, his wife Teresa had wanted me to check these guys out, and I haven't had I haven't taken the time to check them out. And I'm actually glad that they came up on the show because that honestly forces me to sit down and really take it in. And I'm glad I got to do this with this album. Very impressed by Taylor Momsen. You may know her from her small stint in Hollywood. A couple movies there, one of them being How the Grinch Stole Christmas. She was Cindy Lou Who. Everybody seems to know that. But however, um, she has some provocative stage show stuff that goes on. However, just this, she's solid. She is in every bit of a way a rock star. If I had to compare this stuff that I heard today compared to something like Hailstorm, this
Hmm.
by far, bar none, blows to me Hailstorm out of the water. This is a lot more rock, and this is a lot more my idea of a great female fronted rockin' machine. So let me go ahead and get into the review. Track number one, Follow Me Down. I gave this one an A. I said it was a great opener, strong, powerful sexual message, and a jamming riff.
Just a
Um,
little.
yeah. Um, Great opener.
Yeah.
Solid opener, very nice surprise. Really didn't have a big clue as to what I was getting into here. So it was a pleasant opening for me. Track number two, Going to Hell. This is the title track. I said great track, killer riff, chorus was great. There's an interlude in here that slows things down, I believe, a little bit, and she gets a little softer on the vocal or something, I think, at that point. And really cool part of that track. Um, Once again, that one got an A. Track number three, Heaven Knows. This is an anthem type rock song. Really gave me a "We Will Rock You" feel.
Mm,
Kind of had that tum, tsh, tum, drum type thing going on, that just chanting drum thing,
yeah.
that anthem drum thing going on. And I gave this one an A. It had a really good rock and feel to it. It was hard not to like the track. Um, Track number four, House on a Hill. Um, I give this one an A as well. This album tends to portray probably a lot of people's worldview right now of where the world sits and where it's going and how the world is acting right now. And this was back in 2014. We're 11 years ago.
Yeah.
Um, um, it's a ballad, worldview type ballad with a great video. If you get the chance to see the video, it'll definitely it's a thinking man's video. It'll really get to you. Really liked that one. Track number five, Sweet Things. I gave this one a B. Um, I love the drums on here. The song is good, not skippable, and there were at times in this song it reminded me of Marilyn Manson's "Beautiful People." Really kind of had a "Beautiful People" vibe. About two-thirds of the way through, you start hearing Taylor in this what sounds like a "Beautiful People" type
Okay.
cadence type deal. It was really, it was
Mm,
it was good, not
yeah.
skippable, but it was good.
Hmm.
Um, Track number six, Dear Sister. This is a very, very short track. And I wrote very short but meaningful excerpt. A lot said with so little. I think she just rambles a sentence or two.
Yeah.
And in that sentence or two, if you just breathe and take that in, and there's a little bit of background music behind it, it's a lot being said in that sentence or two sentences there in a very short period of time. And the density of what's being said and the shortness of the track, wow, really, really cool thing to see on an album.
Yeah.
Um, Track number seven, Absolution. I gave this one an A. So this song feels bluesy and it really just grooves. Um, uh, what did I say here? Oh, I wrote Seeing Live. So there are often times we go to situations and we see bands open up for other bands, or we go to see an opening band open up for another band. I'd imagine these guys headline, they have their own tours and stuff and whatnot. But if I was in a situation and I had seen these guys live, Absolution would have been the track that would have caught my attention
Mm.
to go further home and check them out. I think about that sometimes. I don't think I've ever said that on the show in almost 100 episodes. But if I saw this song live and heard this as good as it sounds here, I probably would have checked out this band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On my own accord. Um, so that one got an A as well. Um, Track number 8, Blame Me. I gave this one an A as well. It's a mid-tempo tune about love loss and opportunity lost is what it felt like to me.
Mm.
And um, another solid track. You know, I can see why people dig this band. They really have talent. There's a lot of really good stuff going on here. She has an amazing voice. She sounds and portrays the role of a rock star from what I've seen and what I've heard so far. And she owns it. Let's just say that. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, Track number 9, Burn. I gave this one a B. It's an acoustical track, short, nice vocal, but it just didn't resonate with me as well as the rest of the album for some reason. Um, could it have grown on over on me in time? I think the whole album could have. Anything that landed a B. Nothing was really skippable here. Um, Once again, good track, nothing to skip. I didn't
Yep.
find it to be too horrible. Track number 10, Why'd You Bring a Shotgun to the Party? I really wanted to pick this song apart because of the title. But as I listened to it, and keep in mind, I only listened to it once, but I analyze it while I'm listening to it. I gave this one an A, man. Another solid track with political overtones. And this coincides with House on a Hill. Um, there's some political aspect to these guys. Where that is, I don't know exactly. I know that they know that it's messed up out there.
Yeah.
Track number 11, Fucked Up World. Here we go. I gave this one a B.
Mm.
Aside from the title, this would be radio friendly, but this would be the radio friendly stuff that I don't listen to. I'd skip it. Okay. Is this a skippable track on this album as I'm listening to this album? Probably not, but it's borderline there.
Mm.
It doesn't do me any justice. And it brings me to my final point here. Track number 12, Waiting for a Friend. I gave this one an A plus.
Mm.
Great acoustic closer, but I tend to wonder with the way that Fucked Up World wrapped up. If you swapped Waiting for a Friend and Fucked Up World and made Fucked Up World the final track,
Mm.
maybe it could have fared well a little bit better as a closing track. Okay.
Yeah.
Not that Waiting for a Friend wasn't a good closing track. It was great. Don't get me wrong. But I think it would have really fell in a decent spot at 11, which, you would have had an acoustic track, something that bumped it up a little bit more, and then an acoustic track, and then close off with something that was banging it out for the rest of the show. But it could have been a placement thing. So with that being said, this thing had A's. It had an A plus. It got 3 B's. Um, I'm very impressed by this album. Very impressed by the performers on this album. Very impressed by her as a vocalist and watching some of her videos. Very just a rock star in every bit of her own right. Um, if somebody sat what I consider recently current bands that have been around for a while, Arch Enemy and OTEP and um, The Pretty Reckless and Hailstorm, Lacuna Coil, and whatnot. The bands I would pick out of those bands for me personally would be Lacuna Coil and the Pretty Reckless, because they just jam on my level. Um, so yeah, man, I'm giving this thing a 9.25.
Mm,
It was solid. I would definitely check out more of what's being offered here. I would not be upset if I saw them on a bill. I really want my wife to check these guys out. I think my wife would absolutely love this band. But it's not always easy for me to hand her something to go, here, listen to this. She's not so deeply into music and intertwined in it as I am. But I think that listening to this and listening to how this woman speaks about women things is right up her freaking alley.
yeah.
So yeah, 9.25 from me, man.
Awesome. Yeah. Like I said, Rhea introduced me to this band. Now, she does not listen to whole albums. She can't stand to listen to an entire album. Um, but she sent me a few songs. I'm like, man, that's great. Man, that's really great. So then I went on my own deep dive and I'm like, and I had a hard time deciding which one I was going to give you, whether it was the newest album or this one, the Going to Hell album. And I was like, fuck it. I think I like this one just slightly better. Um, Definitely check out more of their discography. Just solid rock and roll all throughout. You're absolutely right. She is a great front woman. She, I mean, she is a rock star, period.
I just want to say something in regards to, I know that we've been reviewing albums fairly high lately, but at the end of the day, for me, if the album's good to me, it's good to me.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Um, you're getting my honest, I listen to it one time through, I give it a thorough listen, I sit down, and that's all I focus on is I'm listening to this album as a whole.
Yep.
And sometimes if I want to know a little bit more about the track, I'll replay the track. It doesn't happen too often, but my review comes fresh off my mind, fresh impression, not something that had to lay on me and I had to sit and listen to over and over and over again for it to grow on me. It's just, this is how I feel about it, knowing what I know about music and how music is created. Um, I get what it takes to make these things. So I look and I analyze it from that perspective. I'm not a great musician. I never claimed to be. Okay. But I've seen how all the workings happen in the studio. I've seen how bands work together to create something out of nothing. What you have here is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And whoever is producing their work is doing a fantastic job. These albums sound, these tracks sounded immaculate.
Mhm.
Um, you know, I'm sorry that Windhand didn't go over for you as well as it does, as your album did for me, but
That's part of it.
that's the game. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I also know, you also know when you hand me something more country, gospel, bluegrass related, you know that you're shooting a shot in the dark with me. And I
Yeah.
know the same thing when it comes to doom, stoner doom, anything that drones, anything that has excessively long, anything over 5 minutes gets a little aggravating for you. I get it. I get it. So, but I send it out there because, in all honesty, I want you to hear these albums because these
Sure.
albums are very important to me.
And I think one of the great things about our show is we do come from different sides of the spectrum on a lot of this stuff. And we do have a lot of good common ground. And but we're very respectful and we're very honest.
Yeah,
Like, if I was anyone else, I would look at that one hand, oh, it fucking sucks. Because I
right.
wasn't. But no, if you look at albums honestly and say, man, this piece was great. This piece was great. You know, I I that's one of the things I love about us. We're honest enough and we're open-minded enough to say, you know, I'm give it a shot. So,
Yeah. And here's the thing, man. I'll listen to anything once. I'll listen to anything once. And who knows, the next thing I listen to could be the next big thing I get into for a long
Yep.
time. You know what I mean? I listen to a lot. I listen to a lot of instrumental stuff. I listen to jazz. I listen to, well, not, I can't say jazz in general, but dark jazz. I'm
Mm,
really diving into that right now. But stoner, doom, um, psychedelic, psychedelic doom,
yep.
punk. You and I meet a lot of eye to eye on punk,
Hmm.
and just good rock and roll. You and I meet really eye to eye on good rock and roll. Um, it's
And it's okay not to agree on everything.
it is, and the funny thing is I think at least with both of our opinions, people can watch and they can go, you know what, I can see why
Hmm.
my musical taste align with Tony, or my musical taste align with Bruce. You know what I mean? Whether we try to give something for everyone, right?
Yep.
So because of that, we want you to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell down below. If you're
Pretty
listening to
pleased with
us,
sugar on top.
if you listen to us and you like what you see here, share it, comment, give us an album to review. We want to hear from you. You know that we say that all the time. We look forward to hearing from you guys. We love each and every one of you. Anybody that's ever been on a show, thank you for your time. We appreciate each and every one of you. Appreciate every one of you listeners. But I believe it's that point in time of the evening where Bruce and I look at each other and say, what do you got for me for next week?
What'd you eat? All right. I'm gonna beat you to the punch, and I told you I was gonna beat you to the punch. Ever since Thursday, I've been jamming the fuck out of this album, out of this lady. She truly impressed me. Um, I liked her presentation. I liked her voice. I really dig this album, and I am giving you India Ramey's "Baptized by the Blaze." Uh, Fantastic country and western singer-songwriter. Uh, I I really think focus on the songwriting on this, and you'll be like, "Oh fuck, that's some deep shit. That's some good stuff in here." So there you go.
India Ramey, baptized by the blaze. I would just like to say, caught a little bit of her set when we were out there in Newport, Kentucky. I
Yep.
found her to be very entertaining myself. I probably would have sat around and enjoyed the show, drank a few shots of bourbon if we didn't have other things going on at the other venue, or at the other part of the venue. But she was wonderful. She seemed very nice, very, very talkative. I did not get the opportunity to talk to her, but you also know there was a possibility you were going to get that album from me. I just didn't get a chance to listen to it. You beat me to the
Yeah.
punch, like you
Oh yeah.
said. Now, get your spelling together.
Oh boy. Thank God
You
I'm
can find
writing.
this album on Bandcamp and listen to it
Uh-huh.
for free.
Uh-huh.
I would suggest going there to be sure that you're getting the full album. This album came out last year in October and is from a female artist who you have heard before, most likely. If I've ever given you a KMFDM album, more than likely she was on the album. She's been with the band, I think, since 2002, and she is actually married to the other singer and front person of this band,
Okay.
Sasha. I am giving you Lucia. I believe that's how her name is pronounced. Lucia
Lucia.
Cifarelli, Cifarelli. Her recent release, No God Here.
Okay. And I believe that thing has 10 songs.
Sure does.
All right. There we go. It's in it.
Awesome. Now, I will say I did listen to this album today, and you know what? I ain't even gonna fake the funk. There isn't anything I probably heard from any of the members of KMFDM in any fashion or form that I didn't enjoy. So I hope you enjoy this album. This will be the final female album I'll be giving you for this month,
Yep.
being that we have a special guest coming up on the 25th, who we
That's
are
right.
looking forward to. Once again, if you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell down below, share, and throw us a comment. Leave us an album review. We want to hear from you, and we will get to you. We promise. If you have any questions about any of the albums, feel free to ask. Feel free what we, see what we were thinking on it and, why we gave it to the other individual here. Bruce, I appreciate all your help and time. I appreciate all you folks watching and tuning in. You got any last words for us this evening?
Yeah, definitely check out the last week of this celebration of women in music history. The Emmy Sunshine coming on, talking about some new stuff and playing a couple songs for us. So, really excited. And then April's stacked up as well for some really cool guests upcoming that I'm not going to announce quite yet, but getting closer and super excited about things coming down the pike.
For sure, for sure.
Yep.
Well, once again, thanks for tuning in. I'm
Mhm.
Tone,
I'm Bruce.
and we are hooked on Sonics.
Oh, yep.
Up, yep, up, yep. We'll see ya.
See ya.
Bruce.